Rise and shine, everybody. Yes, it's Yabba Forbes back for another edition of the Rise and Shine show. Hope everyone's doing well, slept well. Excited, are you? Because it's a big game today. Obviously, we're playing Real Sociedad in Europa League. I was going to say the Champions League there, but I'm still thinking about the game last night. What a great series of games we've seen in the Champions League. Hopefully, we can replicate that in the Europa League and have a good performance as well as a good result in our favour tonight. Obviously, we're playing Real Sociedad. I'm going to talk about that game first. Just a few bits of data to update you with regarding Sociedad. Look, we don't get to play them often, but let's look at their form, their recent form. They lost in La Liga at home to Sevilla on the weekend. Prior to that, they drew with us 1-1. And then the game before that, they lost 4-0 away at Barcelona. And now Barcelona, we know they're top side right now. So hard to gauge from that. Then they played in the Copa del Rey against Real Madrid at home and lost 1-0. Tough games. I mean, Barcelona, Real Madrid and Man United all in a row. That's tough for them. And then they won the game against Leganés in the league 3-0 prior to that. So they haven't won a game for four. They haven't won in four. And whereas us, we've got similar form. We drew with Arsenal, obviously, on the weekend. Drew with Real Sociedad prior to that. Drew with Fulham. When I say draw, we actually got knocked out on penalties. That was in the FA Cup. And then we beat Ipswich all the way back a few weeks ago now in the Premier League. And prior to that was Everton with a 2-2 draw. So going into it, we haven't really got, both teams don't have form, to be fair. Just looking at the few bits of data that we picked up this morning, there's only been 9 goals scored in 7 meetings between the two teams, with 4 of them coming in the same game against Sociedad. That was in February 2021. I don't know if you guys remember that game in the Europa League. We beat them 4-0, and Rashford was instrumental in that. We were playing they played a high line, and we were playing a lot of balls over the top and really punishing them. So hopefully we can get the same tonight with a big result against them. 3 of Real Sociedad's 4 European games in England have come at Old Trafford against Man United. And their other game was a 6-0 loss in 1975 against Liverpool. Irrelevant. Man United only home defeat across the last 28 UEFA Europa League games at Old Trafford was against Sociedad, okay, in a meaningless game, I think, in September 2022. In the knockout stages, they were beaten in the knockout stages. We're unbeaten, 15 games and drawn 5 since losing to Athletic in 2012. So it's not often. These stats are irrelevant, I believe. Real Sociedad won their last away game in a major tournament competition, beating Midtjylland 2-1 in this season's playoff round. Their Spanish side, however, failed to keep a clean sheet in any of their last 6 away games, conceding 10. So hopefully they will fail to keep clean sheet today, and we will go through. Hope everyone's doing well. Let's go to the comments. Who's in the house? Big up Matthew Bassett or Matty Bassett. How you doing, well, bro? Rise and shine. Welcome to the Rise and Shine show. I hope you're doing well. Big up to you. Thank you so much. We've got Richard Hawkins in the house as well. Richard, great contribution to the show last night. I know it's late. We finished about 11:45 or something like that. But really interesting hearing your views, and especially bringing us back to some great centre-backs from the past as well. So nice one, bro. Nice one. We got Matty back saying is Sociedad going to be missing any players. I haven't got any news about that. I've just been looking around, surfing the internet, and it doesn't seem like they are. But we obviously are. Big up to Bath Time. How you doing, my colleague? He's saying, big up, Yabba. I'm hidden in the toilet to leave a like and see you tonight. Thank you so much. Bath Time's excited. He's got nerves. That's why he's doing a number 2 at work. We got Richard saying here, I think we can win. I hope we can win. Yes, indeed. And thank you. Thanks, Richard. All right, let's get some news. That's all about the game tonight. Obviously, Mr. B and Bath Time, and you guys will be tuning in later. And if there's any information about availability and all that, I'm sure we'll get to find out later. But I haven't seen anything about it on the net. As you know, with the Sunrise Rise and Shine show, I'm just going to go through a few topics. Let me know what you think. Just random stuff. I mean, a bit of transfer news for you. Okay, so before we do, let's just go back to this. Above you know this guy. He's the number 10 who scored the penalty last week. He's a very talented player. He seems to be playing like as in a forward position. But yeah, he is their key man, especially in an attacking sense. Very technical, very good player, Spanish international as well. And that's what I'm saying. There's something about Sociedad. He's been there a long time. He hasn't been signed by anyone. Not to say that no one wants him, just more to say that they're quite happy in that playing for that club. And the fans must love them. It must be a good family club and a good traditional club. So big up to him and big up to Zubimende as well. Very good players. And they got the Japanese guy, Kobe or something. He looks pretty good as well. Matty's saying here, scored a winner against England in the Euros as well. Okay. So he's got form against English clubs, it seems, scoring last week as well. Yeah, Richard agrees we need to watch him. And can we get the message over to Lindelof, please? Urgently. Do your homework, Lindelof. All right, let's get on with some transfer news. I don't know how you feel about this because obviously we don't have money to spend. I don't like talking transfer as well. It's all up in the air. Liverpool says here, Man United, Liverpool and Chelsea are joined by Bayern Munich as 4 big clubs and Paris Saint-Germain as 5 big clubs and Al Nassr. There's 6, 5 big clubs and Al Nassr, Saudi club. I don't think they're massive. In the interest of Brighton winger Matoma. We like Matoma. He's very direct, very action-packed, and he's done the damage against us a few times, hasn't he? Top player. No price or anything here, but that's the sort of player that I would like to have. He's proven himself in the Premiership. I want someone who's proven. But if you're competing with Paris Saint-Germain, Bayern Munich, Chelsea, Liverpool, it's going to be tough. So that's an interesting one. Here we go. Yeah, don't let him cut inside onto his inside. Keep on the weaker foot. Talking about the Real Sociedad guy. So Matoma, good player. Granted, we all agree, don't we? He's a good player, and he's direct and he's proven in the Premiership. Would you be interested in him? I don't know. I don't know how we go. Good morning, rise and shine to Sigmund Judge. How you doing? Lunchtime yet? Yeah, we're doing a little lunchtime show or early morning brunch. Let's call it a brunch show. I haven't had breakfast yet, guys. Have you had your breakfast yet? I haven't eaten just yet. I'm waiting till maybe 1, 2 o'clock, and then I'm going to break my fast. All right. So Matoma is attracting a lot of interest on the new stadium. This is what Amran said. It said it's an amazing stadium, as it should be, but it is in 5 years' time. We have to focus on the present. I'm really excited to win things at Old Trafford. That's a positive statement. He always says the right things, I believe, our manager. So he's talking about the stadium. Says it's an amazing stadium, as it should be, due to the size and the grandness of our club. But it is in 5 years' time, and we need to focus. So let's not focus on the stadium and all, this flashy stuff going on in the future. Let's focus on the present. Let's focus on winning things at Man United, because that's what the manager's saying he wants to do. Nice statement. I like to hear that from the manager. And you guys as well. Obviously, we've been distracted by that. But we got a massive game tonight, and it's very important that we back the team regarding this. Just going back to Matty said, talking about Matoma, saying he like him, but he'd be far too expensive. Yeah, good point. It's a really good point to made there. Good player as well, says Richard, and he would like him as well. But it's just about, how are we going to spend our money? And I'm sure someone like Bartha will be able to explain about the finances and how much money we might really have. And it all depends. Doesn't it always depend on if we get qualified for Champions League as well? So, we could be competing for players like that if we, in a better position later on in the season. Simon Warner, good morning. I don't say good morning. We say rise and shine on this show. Morning is for people who are mourning funerals and all that kind of thing. You've had your fun. Now I want mine, says Simon Warner. Did you hear what Paul Merson said about the new stadium? No, I haven't. But I'm a good friend of Paul Merson. I know his family really well. Grew up with them. But I want to know what he says. What has he said? I hope it's something positive. Should we have brought back Angel Gomez on the free? He's going. He's on a free agent this year from Lille, isn't he? He doesn't seem to play much for Lille. I know when Lee Carsley became England manager, he was aware of him because they won the under-17s together in India a few years ago, the World Cup. So he's familiar with Angel Gomez and knows how to use him. So that's why I feel that he was brought into the England side. I doubt very much so, if you're not playing regular football for Lille, that you're going to get into the England side under Tuchel. You've got players like Bellingham and Rice, who I believe are ahead of him, But it's interesting that he's I like him, very talented player, but he is small. and you've got to be able to utilise him. So what do you think about that, Richard? Should we bring him back? I'm saying, yeah, maybe on a free, but would he play? Would he be a squad player? Would he be even getting the side? Are we sort of blocking players coming through? But I would say, yeah, for a squad, if you want a good squad, depending on how we get on at the end of the season, whether in Europe or not, I would possibly say yes for free on a good wage as well. Welcome home. What do you think, Richard? And what do you guys think about Richard's statement there about Gomez? We've got Simon Warner saying, when we go 2-0 up, we can't afford to switch off, most certainly. We're guilty of that, aren't we? Now we're going to hear what Paul Merson has said. Let's talk about this. About saying Paul Merson is a hot take merchant. Social media and clicks have ruined mainstream punditry. That's why we come here instead. Oh, thank you. Get an honest opinion from us. We need him to cover for injuries. Good shout, Simon. That's a good shout regarding Angel Gomez. He is small, Angel Gomez, says Richard, but he is filled out and on a budget is a good squad option. See, I'm down with that. I like sensible chat like that. So, yeah, I'm down with that. When we're talking about Angel Gomez coming in, let's talk about players that we know are possibly going to be leaving. This is from the Mirror this morning. It says here, Man United is set for a major squad overhaul next summer. As many as 8 players are set to leave. Now, 8 players, that's a lot of players, especially players that play in and around this first team. I'm going to name them and I don't know if this will work, but I'll just run them through and tell me who of these would you want to keep? Because obviously some of the contracts are running out. Some of these other guys, the contracts aren't running out, but I think the Mirror's suggested that we want to get rid of them. So the 8 players are Anthony. Just interrupt me, guys, if you want to keep one of these guys. Do you want to keep Anthony? He's on loan at Betis, blowing up in the Liga. Do you want to keep him? You got Sancho at Chelsea at the moment on loan, but he could, I think, if they finish above 14th, there's a deal there to actually sign him. Rashford, interesting one that. He's not on a free, but he's playing right now. Richard Talks is saying no to Sancho and Anthony. What about Rashford? Rashford's playing at Champions League football, had a good game. I think he got a couple of assists yesterday. He's at Aston Villa right now. Do we try to offload him, sell him at the end of the season? So big up to Dora. How you doing, Dora? Lovely to see you. It's probably 1 o'clock in Croatia right now, but welcome. And hopefully you're around to say Laka Notch. You can watch the whole show. So Richard's saying, when with Anthony saying no, Sancho, Rashford, no. Anthony wants to stay according to Simon Warner. How do you feel about that? I mean, it's when you go on loan like that, it's an opportunity to prove himself. And isn't he proving himself? Would you accept him back with open arms? Because it seems to me the Mirror is suggesting that we don't want him. I don't know. Rashford can stay at Villa, says Simon Warner. That's another one. If he plays really well, would you accept him back? Interesting. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Booker T can stay at Real Betis, says Grace. And Rashi looking more cheerful at Villa. He certainly does. Let's see how he gets on the next round. They've got a tough draw against Paris Saint-Germain, Villa. You never know. You just never know. But I want to see how they match up against a team like that because Paris were fantastic against Liverpool. All right, the next one is Casemiro. Obviously, he's crucial to us right now with the players out. But we're talking about the end of the season. How do you feel about Casemiro? He's on a big wage. He's at an age. Is he a first-team player? Would you offload him at the end of the season, Casemiro? Where would he go? And I'm going to talk about Casemiro in a minute, a bit later. Ericsson, we know he's going on a free this season. Here, flop if he returns, says Simon Warner. Talk about Rashford, I'm sure. And keep Casemiro, says Simon. Interesting in that. It's funny how, we flip-flop with our opinion on him. He has a few bad games. You want him out. And now we've seen how crucial he is, maybe, even tonight. Maybe be interested to see what happens with him. Rashford doesn't fit Amarin's system, says Grace. Good point. Yes, offload him, says Richard. Talking about Casemiro, I'm sure. Kaz's agent is already out looking for a new club, says Jale. Stop that, you guys. The dogs are at it. Ericsson can go, says Simon Warner. Yeah, he's on a free, so he's going to go. Johnny Evans. I mean, look, I don't know where he is, but he was fantastic last season, wasn't he? Kind of stepping in and, showing his sort of experience. I haven't seen him much this season. I think he might be injured, but he's a good ambassador of the club. He knows about Man United. He bleeds red, as in Man United. So he's possibly got to go. He's at an age now where he can't really contribute too much. Surely not. Heaton, I mean, he's a goalkeeper. I think he's got to go. We never see him play. There's no even suggestion that he's going to play tonight, is there? Even though Onana's in bad form, and Onana, it always seems like the beat keeper always plays in the cup competition. So Heaton, I'm sure he's got to go. Yeah, you agree with that, guys. Ericsson can go, says Simon. Shaw, we're coming to him. Oh, Shaw's not on the list. Shaw can be put out to pasture, but Shaw's not actually on this list. Nearly finished now. Lindelof, vital tonight. Lindelof is very vital tonight. So we back all our players while they're at the club. But do you want him to leave at the end of the season? If he has a man of the match performance today and leads us on to something big, I mean, how do you feel about that? Did you see the United YouTube channel? They put a video of Dello pre-match stuff. That's my baller, says Grace Sheridan. I haven't seen that. No, maybe I'll check that out later. We signed the keeper in the window, says Grace. Sorry, says Simon. So we've got to Lindelof. His contract's running out. Do we keep him? I would keep Johnny, not as a player, but as a coach. This is Johnny Evans, says Richard. I can tell you that his family thought that there's a role to be offered last season. That he and his family thought that there was a role to be a coaching role. Obviously, we've had new management come in now, haven't we, with the manager Amaran? Yeah, I think it's vital that you have players like that around the club. So that's a good shout. Regarding Lindelof, can he be sold, not loaned out? He's on a free. I think he's on a free, so he can leave at the end of the season. And Lindelof to clean boots. Grace. All right, last two for me. These two are not leaving on a free. We've got Haaland. How do you feel about Haaland? Offloading him. Do we give him another year? Or do we decide to sort of cut our losses and let him leave? And then we've got Mason Mount as well. You know what? To be honest, I'm putting this out there to you, but I have to assess this at the end of the season to see where we're at. If we won the Europa League or in the Champions League, some of these players I might consider keeping. As Richard was saying earlier, we have to consider the squad depth. And some of these players, I think Mount, because you can't blame him, he's had injuries, hadn't really had an opportunity to prove himself. But Haaland's had been there for 2 seasons now, and we are disappointed with him. So if we can get some cash for him, I don't know. What do you guys think? No, Simon Warner. Maguire is not on the list, and he'll be signing a new contract. All right, so I take that. No, Mr. No Goals, Haaland can go, says Simon, and Mount can definitely go. Okay. All right, fair enough. Let's find Haaland's best WWE moments on the football pitch and send it to him, Triple H. Good one, Sheridan. You dropped that the other day. All right, let's move on. News here from MUFC. Marcus Rashford assists Asensio to help Aston Villa beat Bruges 3-0 and go through to Champions League quarter-final. We just discussed that. Well done to Rashford. Still, was playing now with a smile on his face, coming away from Man United. We have to let Rasmus go, says Richard. However, I think it has been a bit unfair. Should never have been brought in as a main striker. Fair enough. And Sigmund is saying here, Haaland is to keep. He needs, in capital letters, needs time to develop alongside a proven striker. We forget about developing and mentoring as well. Good points. Look, I can't argue with any of that. You guys are very insightful, and that's a good shout there regarding Haaland. We trash him, but he's still. If you send him somewhere else, he could blow up. And we say, "Oh, look what we're missing out on," like we are dealing with Anthony at the moment. Okay, the big news. This is what I put the title as. It's about Casemiro. I hope everyone's listened to the interview, Gary Neville with Jim Ratcliffe. I haven't, and I should be more responsible because we're doing shows like this. I've only seen clips and sort of headlines and quotes. I need to watch the whole thing just to take in the body language and everything to understand what people are really saying. Because I could say to you, yes, I'm happy, but inside I could not be happy. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like I want to gauge what's really being said. Sometimes you have to read between the lines with what people are saying, So Casemiro apparently has not reacted well to Jim Ratcliffe's comments this week. Obviously, there was a comment made by Jim Ratcliffe when he first came about signing players on big wages. I think he was referring to Casemiro. But Man United are still working hard to move to Brazilian this summer, with talks ongoing with the Saudi Pro League. But the latest situation will not help. Clubs in the MLS, Turkey, and Brazil are also exploring a move for Casemiro. He accepted his future lies away from Manchester United, but he did say recently he wants to run out his contract with United or stay, until the end of his contract. So he's happy here. Obviously, he has to say these things, but with Jim Ratcliffe, kind of indirectly, you guys, if you have seen the interview, with what he said about Casemiro, do you think this is like a way of sort of forcing him to move or pushing him out by saying something negative about him? And do you want Casemiro to stay? I mean, is he that good a player? We'll find out tonight in the next coming weeks because he might be important, and we could change our mind on Casemiro. I mean, look, we have to look at it from all angles. Let's have a look at the comments now. What does Amaran want? Says Grace. Yeah, if we had a proven striker, I would agree with that. Referring to Sigmund's comment about Haaland having someone alongside him more experienced to help him and guide him. He's had a lot of pressure on him. He's got a burden of carrying the tag of the main striker, hasn't he, at Manchester United Football Club? Also, Simon saying here, where and when are we going to see more goals from Haaland? Good question. I know. I really, what annoyed me is when people start saying, "Oh, we're not providing the right service." I disagree with that. I just think that's a load of rubbish. Richard says here, he can react however he wants, but he's not good enough, overpaid. Talking about Casemiro. And I'm surprised Onana is not on that list as Simon Warner. Keep Casemiro. He may get a goal for us or two. Yeah, he does seem to pop up with goals. All right, let's move on because time is at the essence. We've got Paul Pogba is targeting, we hear it a lot. I mentioned him yesterday, didn't I? Paul Pogba is targeting playing at the 2026 World Cup with France. He is fit and ready to play again. That's from Sky Sports, and that's the last bit of news from me. Paul Pogba wants to play in the World Cup in 2026. He's already won one in 2018, and he could be. Look, if you look from outside, if you're outside of England, if you're living in Turin and you're a Juve fan, you would probably look at Pogba and say, "Oh, world class player, won the World Cup, played brilliantly with Juve." People have different eyes for Pogba. I think a lot of Man United fans are disappointed with him. First of all, we had to put up with the abuse and the laughter from releasing him and the signing him back for 100 million. Then there was a lot of drama when he was at the club because people felt he didn't contribute much or they wanted more from him. I would say if you look at the best midfielders over the last 20 years, Pogba would be in a list of the top 20, I'd say. He's a talented player. He's won the World Cup. I mean, he's scored goals in the World Cup finals. I don't know if it's final, but in the finals, he was scoring goals. I think he's a top player. I just think he gets a raw deal, especially with Man United fans. Now, that might be granted, but he's targeting now. He said he's not done. He's targeting playing in the World Cup, the next World Cup in 2026. So let's see how that goes. But to do that, he's going to have to find a club first, won't he? Big up to Overhead Kick. Make sure you follow my man. Pappy, how you doing? He says, that was out of line from St. Jim. No owner should single out public players in public. So glad you've gone back to that because there's not much talk about that, the Casemiro talk. How do you feel about that? I mean, is it a sort of strategy to get him out of the club in a way, Casemiro, by sort of trashing him? Simon Warner saying here, I'm surprised we didn't get Haaland instead of Haaland. Good one. Please, no, I'm pogged out. Says Simon. Says Richard. Signal saying here, Casemiro's kids are settled and he wants the education over here. MLS would be perfect for him. LAFC, most likely. There you go. And Simon saying, yes, please, we do not want shopped, soiled goods. We don't want Pogba back. And big up to Big G as well. He's in the house with you guys as well. Guys, that's a wrap. That's a wrap, I'm going to go to work now. I am running a little bit late, but my priorities, this is my work. This is my work. I volunteer to do this for free. It's not for free. I get a lot of joy out of it, meeting you guys and, love talking about Manchester United Football Club. Make sure, guys, you tune in tonight because it's a massive game. Mr. B, hopefully, will be doing a watch along. I'm saying hoping. I'd say, I don't even know yet. I haven't asked him yet, but hopefully if Mr. B is on out and about, he can do a watch along and you can watch it, turn your TV down and watch Mr. B, his animated self and his passion for the club. He gives a great watch along, most certainly. He's full of, like that. I love watching Mr. B. And after the game, obviously we do a match reaction. I've heard through the grapevine that Dora will be joining us for the match reaction as well. So if you want to come and join myself, Dora, Bath Time, maybe Mr. B as well for a post-match show, hopefully we'll be celebrating, then make sure you tune in later. Just a couple more here. I want to say big up to Shah United, one of the originals from the Man United agenda, and he attends Man United, Old Trafford regular. Big up to you, Shah. Hope you're doing well, man, you and your family and the missus. Big up to you. Thanks for joining us on the Rise and Shine show. Overhead kick saying here, that can cause a dressing room disruption, making the job hard for the coach. Good point. Pogba getting a third run with us would be a joke. Talented, out, but baggage and holding a curse we don't need. Yeah, I think someone put some juju on him, didn't they? They were his brothers. Excuse me, Demas. It's okay, calm down. I'm doing a show. Richard Walker saying, thanks, Yabba. Stay safe, everyone. Yeah, big up to Richard. Have a lovely day. Keep drinking that. It's tonic water. Is it tonic water? To stop yourself getting cramped. That's a new one for me. Big G saying here, look, Kaze is on 350 grand a week. His performances require scrutiny. Yeah, indeed. Big up to Shah, says, have faith, everyone. That's all we got left. And I think we will score first, says Simon Warner tonight. Have a great day, Sigmund. And right back at you, bro. And thanks, Yabo. Great work, buddy. Thank you, Pappy. Hopefully, see you soon. And let's be positive and optimistic. Yeah, indeed. Got my order for Guinness tonight. Richard's ready for the game. Oh, man, I can't wait. All right, that's enough from us, guys. Really appreciate everyone tuning in. Have a lovely day. If you're working, don't work too hard. Save yourself and your energy for tonight. And let's all focus and get behind our football club, because it's a massive day of football for us. But from me, it's lack a notch. And I'm going to work now. I'll be back later to watch the game. And we pray that we have a great result. Lack a notch.